Will Gale Weathers be the opening attack in Scream 6? Let's talk about it.
What's your favorite scary movie? Amen.
We'll tear your soul apart.
Well, I'm Pennywise the Dancing now.
Oh, Lord on the beast!
God, don't do that.
But sometimes, death is better.
Hey everybody, what's up? KillJoy Jake here, and instead of having friends, I have horror movies. Today we are talking a little bit about Scream 6, just giving you a crazy theory, and now before y'all go and write your little nasty hate comments because you're angry about me even discussing the idea of killing another OG character in the opening scene, just hear me out. That's all I'm asking. I'm just asking you to hear me out and listen to this crazy theory, because I've been formulating it kind of all week, and I got a pretty cool idea as to solve a massive problem with Scream 6, which is how are we bringing Sidney Prescott and Gale Weathers back to Woodsboro for another killing spree? How are we going to rope them into it without making it all about wanting to kill Sidney? I'm going to discuss that in just a second, but first I'm going to need y'all to like this video, and if you're new here, make sure to subscribe because it really helps this page grow. We just hit 8,000 the other day, by the way. Thank you all so much for that. Now, getting into this a little bit, I want to read this like literally word for word because I have a really crazy idea here. Because I don't know, I've been writing it all week, and I think this is a pretty solid theory. Because this is Radio Silence's movie, I feel like they're going to take a lot more liberties with the film and change up the formula even more than they did in Scream 5. Now, how I feel like they're going to do that is just picture yourself in Woodsboro. It's a little over a year after the events of the last film. Sidney and Gale have both written a book about not Deputy Dewey, Sheriff Dewey, because that's where he ended up, of course. And they have written this book together. They're at a book signing in Woodsboro. Think the scene from Scream 4, but it's an opening scene this time around. And Gale Weathers gets a call from Ghostface for the first time ever. And it'll be awesome, because we have not seen Gale Weathers ever get a call from Ghostface. Isn't that weird? I mean, like 5 movies and she's been a main character every single time. Not one time has Ghostface called her up. What's up with that, Ghostface? You just don't like Gale or something? Well, I mean, I guess maybe he does like Gale, because, you know, usually he calls people he wants to kill. So that's typically, maybe Ghostface just loves Gale Weathers. Maybe that's just always his or her favorite character. But during the signing, mind you, there will be a lot of people at this signing. Like, there'll be a crowd of people there. It'll be like oh, Gale Weathers is gonna be there. She's super famous. No way. She just wrote a book about our little town and like a sheriff there. Oh, she was married to Dewey. You know, you could have a conversation going back and forth between these people. Now, another thing I want to see between the people who are like talking there is some of them are criticizing the book. Some of them love it. And then you can have some toxic fans there who are saying things like, once again, going off of the theme from the last film, which has to be relevant in this new film. If they just drop that theme, it's gonna be really fucking weird, and it's not gonna connect these movies at all. What I love about the original trilogy is like they all kind of connect, and they all have like this tone and certain type of feel that maybe 4 and 5 don't have. And I kind of love that about the original trilogy. I'm kind of expecting that from 5 and 6 now, and if 7 happens, which honestly I think is already greenlit. They just haven't given us that information yet, considering something else that I think is going to happen in 6. We won't talk about that in this video, but I'll save that for a future theory video. But going off of the opening scene for Scream 6, we have all these people going back and forth about like Gale Weathers' book, and it's like kind of toxic conversation. Some people are saying, well, I loved this aspect of it, and if you didn't like it, you clearly aren't a fan of Gale Weathers. Toxic conversation right there. Now you can have the other side of that argument as well, of people who are criticizing the book and saying things like, well, actually this whole section about Dewey's backstory in New York when they were there together, it just kind of sucks. It doesn't feel like very well written, and honestly, if you like that, you're kind of an idiot. Toxic conversation once again. We have both of these characters get attacked by Ghostface. So like Ghostface walks into this room full of people, starts stabbing both of these people. It's meta. It's a meta joke because you have literally Ghostface silencing the toxic fans, which I think is hilarious and would be a really cool thing to start off your next film with. Now, moving forward with that though, Gale Weathers gets stabbed in the opening scene. Now, hear me out. Just wait. Just 1 second. Hold on. I know you want to go down to the comments section right now and be like, this KillJoy Jake guy stinks. God, what a nerd. Oh my God, he wants to kill my favorite character. Just wait 1 second. Gale gets stabbed. Sidney chases after Ghostface. Ghostface gets away. Gale Weathers could be in the hospital for the majority of this film. Now, something that would be a cool struggle to see Gale go through in this new movie, once again, to have her have a purpose, because that was something a lot of people complained about with the last movie. Why were the OG not having, they didn't really have that significant of a role. I disagree with that personally. I feel like they had a very significant role in the third act, and without them, no one would have survived that film. If Sydney or Gale wasn't there at the end of that film, everyone would have been dead. Let's expand on that though. People still had a problem with them having kind of a sidelined role. Let's have them have a bigger role in this film. Gale Weathers is stabbed and lives through the opening scene. There you go, okay? Gale Weathers is gonna live in this theory. But she's in the hospital. Think Laurie Strode Halloween 2. She's like in the hospital and she wants to like go back and help. That's Gale Weathers. That's her character. She always wants to help. She wants to be involved. Scream 4, I think, is the best example of that. Her whole arc through Scream 4 is like doing things against what Dewey is saying so that she can like just help out and assist in finding out who Ghostface is. Gale Weathers is struggling because she's hurt. She gets stabbed in the abdomen, let's say. And she's like, what the fuck? In 2 years, I have been shot and stabbed. We could have some funny lines there with Gale. I'm sure they could come up with something. And she's struggling to get out of bed and she wants to help. Now, towards the end of the film, we could have some kind of third act heroic moment where Gale comes and actually saves the day. And she's the one who ends up doing that. We see her go through a struggle and we see that resolved in the third act. That would be a really cool thing to have for Gale Weathers. Because if they just bring her back for another movie, people are going to complain, and I'm going to get kind of annoyed too. It's like, look, I love Gale Weathers, but don't sideline her like that. Like, they can still play an important part to a new Scream film without the whole focus being about Gale and Sydney. Easily you can do that with something like this, some kind of internal struggle to see them go through and see it resolved in the third act. Moving forward with this, you might also have the question of, well, where are the cops in this situation, Jake? What's going on with that? Why were there no cops at this book signing with people who have been attacked multiple times in the past by residents of Woodsboro? Well, here's the thing, and this is the thing I want to see happen through Scream 6 and a possible Scream 7. Once again, it's not greenlit yet, but like, I think it is. They're just not telling us. I think it'd be a really cool theme to explore in Scream 6 to see a incompetent police force. Now, it would make sense because in the last movie, we saw Sheriff Judy get killed by Ghostface. So, is the police force did they just recover from that? Are they just fine a year later? No, I think they're struggling. I think they have one of these like bumbling cops we saw in the last movie who just decided to basically leave one person to guard Jenna Ortega's character at the hospital. They just all go and help see what's going on with the chief and her son that are dead. Like, come on, that's kind of that's obviously what Ghostface was planning, and the police fell into that. So the police force will be struggling in Scream 6. I think that would be a really cool theme to explore. I think that would be it would not only make for like an easier killing spree for Ghostface, but it would make the situation more plausible and really root the series back into reality. I sound like Eminem, but my point is, I think that would be a really cool thing. We could have a lot more Ghostface killings, and you wouldn't have to explain like, well, where were the police? It would make it a lot more plausible to have an incompetent police force during a slasher movie, because then it's more exciting that way. You can have Ghostface get away with some really messed up shit that you maybe wouldn't have done in the past because it wasn't as plausible. So we could have a Ghostface killer that's more vicious than we've ever seen before in Scream 6 this way. I don't know, I think that's a pretty crazy theory because it sets up a lot of really cool things for the entire movie. Once again, the police force that is incompetent. Gale Weathers being like kind of bedridden the whole movie until the third act because she really wants to help out. That's like part of her character. That's a struggle that would give her a purpose in this new movie. The biggest thing, it would bring back the OG characters that are still alive for this new movie in a way that makes sense. Now, you could just do the book signing thing. You could just say, hey, Sydney and Gale are coming back for a book signing of this book that they just made for Dewey. You could do that, yeah. But it's not as exciting as having Gale get stabbed in the first act, or have a crowd full of people get attacked by a Ghostface killer. That's awesome! Come on, we want to see something crazy and exciting and different in Scream 6. If we just get another version of Scream 96 in this film, which I seriously doubt Scream 6 will be, considering what Scream 5 was, I'll be disappointed. I don't want another film that's exactly like other Scream film in this franchise already. Give us something different. Give us something new. We've never seen two Ghostface killers also in a room together killing people. Let's do that. I don't think it's that crazy of a reveal anymore that there's gonna be 2 killers in a Scream film. I mean, I knew going into this to look for 2 people. There's no way there was gonna be 1 person. That's an argument we can have for another day. But to go off of this theory, what did you guys think about that? Are you interested in seeing Gale Weathers get stabbed in the opening kill? Or, well, I guess opening attack, so to say? Or is that too similar to Tara's death from Scream 5? Leave me something about it in the comments below. Thank you all so much for watching this new Scream 6 theory video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more horror content. Support me on Patreon if you can. Just $1 a month goes a long way, and you get some extra videos every single month. So make sure to check that out. The link for that will be in the description below. Thank you all again for watching, and as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all.